Coming live from Houston with Ernesto Verdugo and Dubai with Dave Crane, you are watching the Toilet Paper Diaries. Hello, everybody. I hope you're good. And hello to you, Ernesto.
I am very excited about today. Today is Saturday, so we promised that we were going to be having a very light and fun show. So I hope that you guys are going to be absolutely enjoying what we're going to be covering. Today, we're going to be covering reframing, which is an interesting aspect of how to make and how to find the silver lining under every cloud. And normally, we're thinking negatively, or we are just getting affected by the news or whatever is happening. And today, Dave and I are going to try to show you how to actually reframe that, which is a very interesting concept.
The concept comes from two guys who created a thing called NLP, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and that's John Grinder and Richard Bandler in the 70s. And they studied success with a number of real experts who did very well, and they broke down what they did to change the way that they made success, as opposed to people who were as good as doing it, but couldn't actually manage to get the success that they were having. And so with our reframing, it's going to be all about that.
Yeah, why don't we actually teach them just as so that they can see how it works, and then we basically go through the process of explaining how they can get it done. So let's see. Of course, we're looking at all the negative things which are happening. I mean, we are the entire world is in lockdown. The economy is not doing well. There's people dying. Everything is negative. So how can we actually find the silver lining underneath every cloud? Let me just get started with one example. So this is one of the news of today. We found out that there's actually 8 different cruise ships which are in several places around the world. I mean, some of them are close to Thailand, some of them are in South America, some of them are close to the United States. And they have still over 200 or 300 passengers each stranded because, of course, there's no ports that want to let the passengers on board. And of course, I mean, if we will think about it from the first instant, you go like, oh my God. I mean, Dave and I, we have been to cruises together, and just the thought would be incredibly scary. So, Dave, how can we reframe this specific news?
I think the only way that you can reframe it, because the challenge is you're not actually on the boat, is to think about the fact that each of these boats, each of these cruises is run by a multi-million, if not multi-billion-dollar company, and it's their duty to keep everyone safe. So the things like ventilators, food, fuel, all these things are down to the duty of those guys to make sure people have it on board, even getting the nursing, medical stuff there. So wherever they are, at least whatever they have, they know what the finite situation is. You got 300 people on board. If you can get, like a mini city, the ability to look after everybody, then you've got a way of dealing with a problem. And there are ways and means of dealing with it when you've got an isolated case in an isolated area.
So that's a great way of reframing. So of course we saw the news that at least seem negative, but then if we actually change them around, it's basically yeah, indeed. But I mean, they are people which are actually safe. They're also isolated. So great example, Dave. Let me just go to another of the news today, which for me as a Mexican makes me actually very sad to listen to this, to see this news. Corona beer stops production. Now it doesn't say if it's going to be forever, which I don't think, because the Modelo brewery in Mexico, it's one of the biggest in the world. But I mean, it's one of the most well-known brands in the world, and they have actually really been hit very severely by this crisis. How can we reframe this, Dave?
Well, this is a classic example of what's going on with every single business on the planet, where they realize that they're not up to speed with the new environment and the new demands and the new way that people are looking at things. So we've got Corona, which unfortunately has the worst name possible for a beer or a regular product. So the way that they can do it is to start off by reframing the name. I would call it hope, and then I'd reframe it and get it out there and let people see it as a different gift, different product. Because everyone's going to have to go for a similar thing with their business, whether it's digitization or hiring staff differently or working more as a global brand than actually doing stuff in their neighborhood. So they are just another example of it. But the biggest problem is their name. And the way that we discussed this a little while ago about the advert where it had somebody smug drinking a beer and tutting at the audience for getting the name wrong. And I said, that's not going to work. What they have to do is reframe it in the same way as Freedom Fries was done many years ago and all the rest of it. They have to make sure that people see the beer as a symbol of the new economy, the new mindset, the new people, and treat yourself to a bit of hope. That kind of message, whatever they go with, will allow them then to reframe it with stickers on the front, get it out there again, and people will see it as a different product.
That's a great reframe, Dave, and I hope indeed it's going to be positive, because it really makes me sad, because it's one of the most famous brands in the world. Now, the other news that I wanted to share with you, which it's also, I mean, it's a bit funny, but it's also in a way a little bit weird, is what's going on right now in Spain. In Spain, because of course now they are in complete lockdown, is that the dog owners are actually using their dogs to rent, so that other people can just go out and walk through the street, because of course they are in lockdown, and one of the only tickets for you to go out of the lockdown is for walking your dog. So how would you reframe this, Dave?
Well, first of all, it's a very smart and efficient way to make money in an economy that's locked down. I mean, I've got 2 dogs. This could be a lot of inspiration, but I just need to make sure they bring the dogs back. But I think that what it does is it's a way of collecting a relationship between people. There'll be lots of dog lovers who will love the idea that they actually get to see the world and outside of their apartment because of it. And if people will pay for that, which clearly they will, then it's a part of the business of a new economy. It's not particularly shocking, because there are dog walkers who get paid to do it anyway, but not usually people paying to do it. But I've got clients who say that what they do is they fill shopping bags full of food, and they walk out the apartment because you're allowed to go shopping. So they then go for a walk holding shopping bags full of food, then go back to their apartment when they're finished, because otherwise they're not allowed to leave for any other reason. So everyone will find a way to be able to deal with it. But I just urge that as you do it, you're respectful for the reason that there is a lockdown, which is if everybody started using it as an excuse to get out, then you're just doing the same problem. And we won't have a lockdown, and we won't limit the amount of people that's spreading the virus.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what? Talking about that, let me just show you. This video is incredibly funny. It is also happening in Spain. So have a look. What do you think of that craziness?
Well, the thing is, and I mentioned this earlier when we looked at it, as long as there's a harness around the dog and it's not getting pulled up by its neck, I think it's smart dog walking. The dog's happy because it gets a chance to have a wander around, and the people are happy because they get a chance to make sure the duty's done. So I think it's a win-win, kind of weird win-win, but there we go.
Yeah, it is harness. It is absolutely a harness. But anyway, yeah, I think it's just really funny how people are incredibly creative into what they are doing. So awesome. So yeah, and now as you can see, we have already briefly described what reframing is all about. Now, we wanted to show you another incredible video. Actually, before we go into any further in the show, we normally like to acknowledge all those unsung heroes, which are every single day and every single night helping in this situation. And they found this video, and I think it's incredibly valid, because we want to make sure that every day that we are doing this show, we want to acknowledge them. So
really powerful.
I
And
love the
that's
video. I think
exactly
it's just phenomenal.
That's exactly what we've been talking about all the way through the show, that we should really hope that at the end of this, people are respected for the jobs that they've taken. Because without those guys doing all the heavy lifting and making sure that there's food and the place is clean, even the garbage that goes out in the trash, picking all that up, then we wouldn't have a society. It would all fall to bits. And often they get overlooked because people say, oh, they're not earning much money. But the guys who've got the money, it makes absolutely no difference what they do to contribute. It's the guys who are feeding us and looking after us. And it's really scary because right now in New York, a quarter of the people who arrive in ambulances to take care of people and get them to the hospitals are sick of the coronavirus. And so we really have to feel for the people on the front line who are going out there on our behalf. And when I see people clapping outside at 8 o'clock and singing songs in praise, that's nothing compared to what these people need, because they're doing an amazing job of keeping us all alive. One thing that was interesting as well, when we're all worried about the food disappearing, I was reading an article about it in the UK, and was saying that remember the fact that sometimes they have storms and tornadoes and flooding, and the supermarkets keep about 4 months worth of food at any given time, just in case something happens. So this is just another something happens. So if people are really worried that the food will run out, you don't have to be, because if your country has had experiences like this before, it already has things in place to make sure the supply just gets stepped up, to make sure there's always something to keep you fed.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, this is as they are telling us here in Texas. Don't worry, this is not a hurricane. Talking about acknowledging, I would like to acknowledge some of the people which are watching us right now live. Hi, Frank Mulcahy, and also Morten Husby, all the way from Sweden. And I would also like to say hello to Gotham Ganglani, and some of the other people which are watching us right now live. We are doing this for you guys. This is a show where our only intention is to, keep you entertained, give you some news, some positive facts, and doing this together. I mean, we are always saying, let's do a call, and we absolutely love the fact that many of you switch your I was going to say switch your television, but you actually watch us here online every day, because we are connecting. That's the way that we are connecting. So thank you.
And we make sure afterwards we also post it on various social media, on Vimeo and YouTube, so you can watch a full episode. If you're sleeping now in your part of the world, and when you wake up you can get it, because I know a lot of people watch us later on. Plus also we've got the podcast, which is available for everybody. So if you want to know more about it, use the hashtag #NeverAloneTribe to let people know that they're never on their own. But also, if you go to this place here, bit.ly #NeverAloneTribe, then you get to join our community, and that one's on LinkedIn. And of course, our podcast is available to share with everybody. So if you'd like to have an audio version every single day, it's updated, and that's available. Please feel free to let everybody else who feels that they will benefit from what we're sharing daily, just let them know about it. Please feel free to use our content and share it with everybody, because that's why we're creating it.
So anyway, I was just explaining to you, well, we saw this video. We know a little bit about reframing. I received yesterday a video from, I didn't know that he was a motivational speaker. Dave was actually telling me that he was a motivational speaker. But more than anything, I knew about him because he was a rapper. He created a very powerful video. When I saw it, the first minute and a half, I was like, oh my God, this is really heavy. But then he does a very interesting reframe. And then we thought that this will actually fit perfectly to what we were talking about. So watch this video. And yes, the first part is actually quite shocking. But then afterwards, the way that he reframes it, it's absolutely fantastic. So have a look.
Are you scared yet? They say this thing, it kills your immune system, attacks your lungs, makes it hard to breathe, and it's spreading like wildfire, causing havoc. Your friends and family are gonna get it if they don't already have it. It's tragic, I tell you, madness. Scientists say old people get it worse, but most get it eventually. They say this is new, but no. This has been around for centuries. Look at history, it's just a different name. a different strain. And now there's no way to contain it. It affects the rich, poor, young, old, the unknown, the famous. It's dangerous. Everyone's on edge, locked inside of their homes nervously. Borders are closed, countries declare state of emergencies. Grocery stores are empty, nobody's praying in church. The world has gone to crap. No wonder toilet paper sold out first. The stock market crashed, thousands laid off work. Hand sanitizer is going for $1 million a squirt. You better not sneeze, cause no one's gonna say God bless you. They might even arrest you. I don't mean to stress you, but washing your hands obsessively in the restroom will not protect you. Friends, I'm not talking about coronavirus. Now this is a virus even more deadly. The F virus. You've seen it. It spreads every minute like an epidemic. It lives on surfaces, most commonly remote controls, TV screens, cellular phones. It makes you desperate. Doctors say every time you scroll down your feed, you get reinfected. It invades the brain, and when it mutates, it turns into hatred and blame. China did it, no Italy did, no Iran, no Spain. Oh, I didn't make it clear? The F virus, ladies and gentlemen, is fear. But don't be afraid. Despite what you hear or see on your TV, there is good news during this tragedy. To fight loneliness, people are performing concerts on their balconies. The UAE sent aid to Iran. Japan donated supplies to China for free. Written on them was a poem that said, "We are waves from the same sea." Listen to me, like every tragedy, we can let this destroy us, or we can use it to our benefit and repair relationships with our sisters and brothers, wipe away silly grudges, because when it's all said and done, all we ever really had in this world was each other. So yes, let's flatten the curve and expand our hearts. Let's social distance, boost our immune systems, be mindful of where we put our hands, but also where we put our attention. Be alert, not fearful, because the F virus is a pandemic easily transmitted. If you do contract it or exhibit symptoms, we recommend immediately dialing the hotline of a level-headed friend. If you are exposed through your TV, change the dang station. Decontaminate yourself through dance, laughter, and meditation. 2020 has been morbid. From Kobe to COVID, may we use these tragic moments to finally wake up to what's important. Right now, tell someone that you care for them. Yes, right now, tell them that you cherish them. If they are not in the same room, ring them up and tell them you will always be there for them. Because together is how we will rise above. The only vaccine for this F virus and every other virus is love.
Wonderful. Prince EA was on stage in Dubai, and he's got some incredible videos about the school system and about reinventing yourself. He's very, very good indeed, and that's perfect for the times. Very, very talented guy.
Yeah, very, very powerful video. And I love the reframe because I do not know if you have the feeling, but the first minute and a half, it actually makes me anxious. It gives me anxiety. It's oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then suddenly he reframes it fantastically. So
with that, Ernesto, I was going to say that it's a good opportunity to actually explain to anybody who doesn't know how to reframe exactly what reframing is.
That's a great idea. Why don't you start with that, Dave?
Okay, so if you're wondering what reframing is, I mentioned at the very beginning, it's an NLP thing. Now, what it means is you've got to acknowledge the issues around you, but then find a different way of spinning it, because your mind is a supercomputer. Now, as a direct result of that, your mind will work on whatever you feed it. If you feed it negativity, it will find more examples of what you're interested in. If you feed it positivity, it'll find more examples of that. So therefore, what you have to do is start thinking differently about what you notice and spin the stuff that doesn't work for you and hold on to the stuff that does work for you. And then you pull more focus. So when you pull more focus on stuff, once you get it, your mind is like sending out this attraction to everybody, like the law of attraction of a secret. But what it really does is it pays more attention to the things, it helps you notice the things that you're interested in. So therefore, by adding gratitude and saying the world is okay, I'm okay, my life is better as a result of what's happening, you can then put a spin on it that allows you to feel better every single day. Now, it does mean it's kind of like lying a little bit, but it's not really, because when it becomes natural, it means you become very successful in your business and in your personal life, because you end up having to do a number of things. You stop paying attention to negative news and you spin it all the time. You also have to get rid of people who are negative around you, because they don't help. If they're not ready to play, then it's not your fault as well. But one of the key things to it is forgiving everybody around you and forgiving yourself for anything that's happened in the past. Press a reframe button inside your heart and your mind that you're starting the world afresh, and the opportunities that are in front of you are exactly what you make of them. Your family around you, you're breathing, you're alive, and that is sometimes the best that you can possibly start with. So therefore, limiting the negative thoughts around you, turning around everything that's negative and looking for the positive silver lining. There always is one, even if you're not sure what it is. And then when you do find it and you're not sure how to spin it properly, get some tiny splinter of good and then jump and grow wings on the way down. It will change your mind. You'll start seeing great things. You'll enjoy food better. You'll enjoy relationships better. And you'll see this whole quarantine time as an opportunity to reinvent your relationships, your business, and the love that you feel for being alive. That's what reframing is.
And yes, I think it's just incredibly powerful to do this. So the next step, or the second thing that we always need to have whenever we're going to be reframing, is we have to know already about positive things and about, for example, in this case, yes, we're in a tough situation, but we can also be grateful. And I think one of the things that we wanted to do throughout this weekend was check with some of our correspondents, which are telling us, well, I am very grateful that you invited me to the show, and I would like to share in the show. So right now we have ready all the way from Texas, Tracy Zimmerman. Tracy Zimmerman is going to be telling us what she's doing and what she's grateful for.
Hi Dave, hi Ernesto, this is Tracy Zimmerman. I'm coming to you from the greater Houston, Texas area. I'm a speaker and a coach, and I have a couple of tips I'd like to share today. First, I think it's important to stay in a mode of gratitude. So I get up every single day and write down some of the things that I'm very grateful for. I've learned you cannot stay in negativity and gratitude at the same time. So it's important, while we have a lot going on in this crazy world, to stay in that mode of gratitude. And the second thing is to stay in a mode of action. See, I know that I have a period of time, and I choose to believe it's a gift of time in order to get some things squared away in my personal life and in my business. So utilize this time while you have it. It's a gift. We don't always get a gift of time. Use it wisely. And I think the third thing is to make that phone call. Make that phone call to someone who does not expect your call. Now, it's great to continue to connect with the people that we speak to on a daily or a weekly basis, but make a phone call to someone that you appreciate, that you just don't talk to every day, because someone else may not be calling them. The gift of our time, the gift of listening, is incredibly important, and it gives back rewards to us as well. Back to you, Dave and Ernesto.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much, Tracy. It's always really cool to hear from our correspondents. Dave, I think also there's somebody in Dubai is also ready to share something, right?
Bina Matthews, yeah, she's a business coach, a really good speaker as well. And she spends a lot of time making people feel differently about the way they run business. So it'd be great to hear from Bina. I hope she's staying safe.
Hey Dave, hey Ernesto. This is Bina Matthews from Murdiv, Dubai. And my message for today is gratitude. So I've just decided, instead of whinging and moaning, just change the filter to gratitude. So what am I grateful for? Let me see. I live in a beautiful country where I feel really safe. It's a beautiful day. They've taken all measures to make sure that we're safe, that the groceries are well stocked, no fighting over toilet paper for us, and other essentials like chocolates and crisps. What else? I'm with my loved ones, and the ones that I'm away from, I can still connect to, I can talk face to face with, I can work from home, and the online world just has such a wealth of resources, books and videos and tutorials and certifications, and if I want, I can, just do so much in this time. So guys, let's all just stop looking at all the downside of things, and let's focus on what we have. We've been blessed with another day, woohoo! And let's make the most of it, right? I'm even grateful for this fly that's joining in on my on my message. So that's it. Enjoy your day, guys. Make the most of it. Back to the studio.
There you go. Thank you, Bina. And you look after yourself as well with the chocolates and all the crisps. I'm feeling hungry now just on the back of that. I'll never be so grateful as I am right now.
I am not so sure if I am actually grateful about the flies. I mean, sometimes we have to leave the door open here for the dog to go out, and flies go inside, and it's just absolutely annoying. But anyway, I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I appreciate the thought.
Exactly. Well, the bees are good for us anyway, so we should keep more care of the bees. Be grateful for them.
Absolutely. And we are now going all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, with Monique. Monique is over there reporting from Atlanta. She's been already reporting before. So let's hear how Monique is doing. So how are you, Monique?
Thank you, Ernesto and Dave. I'm Monique Russell here reporting for you in the Atlanta area. Guys, today is a little bit of a gray skies, but I want to let you know that what we're seeing, what we're hearing is that a lot of people are now getting accustomed to the social distancing aspect of life. This is the new normal. This is now a time where people are really getting itchy, really getting antsy, and in our community, for example, people are now having conversations with each other as they walk throughout the neighborhood throughout the day. So we're seeing a lot of opportunity for connection, a lot of opportunity for engagement, a lot of opportunity for observation of things that were no longer or previously ignored. Also, we're having a lot of opportunity where we're encouraging leaders and their teams to find new ways of working at home. So instead of the standard schedule, we're encouraging our leaders and teams to make sure that they have one-on-one conversations with their employees, helping them to structure and more effectively manage their day for work and also for home. We realize that this is giving them the power and they're being empowered to have these conversations that they probably would not think of prior because they're so filled with so many other competing tasks at hand. And that's what I've been up to. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Monique. It's amazing. So many beautiful gardens that people have around the world. At least when you're in quarantine, you go for a little wander around and maybe even take your dog if you got one. That's kind of nice out there in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's very nice. I love the fact that we're getting really swamped with incredible experts and speakers and people from all over the world wanting to contribute to the show. We really enjoy it. And once again, I would like to invite you guys. I mean, if you're an expert, if you're a speaker, if you have a great message to communicate, we would love to feature you here on the Toilet Paper Diary. So make sure to connect with us there at bit.ly, Never Alone Tribe, or you can even do it in a fastest way. If you go to thedavecrane.com or ernesto.today, you're going to find there our contact details. This is not a website. This is just basically a page on the internet where you're going to find our contact details. Let us know that you want to be a contributor. Let us know that you want to be a reporter, and we would love to feature you on the show. Okay, let's move forward. We were talking about reframing, and I want to give you another interesting take on reframing, and I think you're going to find this very interesting. There's actually two different ways in how you can reframe something. So you can reframe things in context, or you can reframe things in content. So what's the difference? For example, Dave has been doing context reframing. Now, what I'm going to show you is how you can do content reframing. Possibly you like humor, or you like stand-up comedians. Stand-up comedians are absolutely fantastic in reframing content. So one of the things that President Reagan was doing in the past, he was using one-liners to change everything. I mean, so for example, he was talking with Gorbachev, and he will use one-liners that will reframe the situation. Or he was attacked in the debates saying that he was too old, and he reframed that attack in a very intelligent way. And as you can see, he was using it in humor, but you can also use it perfectly well for everyday's life.
I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit, for political purposes, my opponent's youth and inexperience. Just show you how youthful I am, I intend to campaign in all 13 states.
He was a guy who wasn't afraid to make fun of himself, which was great. You know, like whatever you think the elephant in the room is, that's the thing you should be able to talk about and joke about. When I do the same thing, the first thing I do is I make a joke about the way I look.
And that kind of inoculates yourself.
Totally.
When I go in for a physical now, they no longer ask me how old I am. They just carbon date me.
There you go. And it's also smart thinking. I mean, if you're able to laugh and reframe everything, it puts you in a position to be able to deal with almost any situation by diffusing the pain and the pressure that's there. It's like a pressure cooker. You just take the lid off and suddenly it all goes out and you're left with the facts in front of you. And then you can choose to take it one way or the other. So very see, Reagan is a very smart practitioner of reframing.
That's right. So, for example, I just reframed our studio. We were in the studio, and then suddenly I was supposed to be in Houston, and then I appeared in Dubai. And now I said, well, why don't we appear on the royal suite of the Burj Al Arab? And this is exactly where we are right now. So I also take a little bit of
okay. That's the difference between reframing and being delusional. So, yeah, we are reframing it for the picture of anybody watching, but in the real world, we're still exactly where we are, which is what a reframe is.
Yeah, exactly. So we can see here also a very nice example of a great reframe. Procrastination is totally good thing. You always have something to do tomorrow, plus you have nothing to do today. So as you can see it, that's the beauty about the human mind. I mean, if you know that you have different elements, you can just quickly play and change the way that you see things. This is also a great reframe that I found also there on the internet. It says, if you weigh 200 pounds on Earth, you'll be only 76 pounds in Mars. So we're not overweight, we're just in the wrong planet.
There you go. That
just
works for
an
everybody.
absolutely fantastic reframe.
Yeah, I think that whatever you do with the news from now on and the negativity around us, first of all, limit the amount that you let into your head and limit the amount that's on TV. Change your channel, watch something else, do something different, because at the end of the day, we're all going to get through this. We're going to come out the other end and we'll all come out positive and happy to be alive. It's just a dependent thing on how you decide to have that adventure and that journey. So make it as easy as you can for yourself. Every morning you wake up, feel blessed that we've got another morning and the ability to do what we want for the next 24 hours. That will be worth something one day. It's worth something right now. So enjoy it. And we'll be back to share more great reframes, gratitude reasons, and what's going on in the big wide world with you tomorrow. Take care.
Fantastic. Hey, Dave, just a quick thing. Can we give them a little bit of homework? Do you think it will be a nice homework to do this weekend to possibly fill out a what am I grateful for list?
I think it'd be a brilliant idea, because when you do that, it really makes a big difference. So here's the thing. You're probably watching on your laptop. You might be watching on your phone. But if you're watching on your laptop, once you finish this, just get yourself a sheet of paper like I've done here. I don't know if you can see. And what I've done is I've written on it in my little scrawly writing the things that I'm really grateful for. And on it, I've got everything for my family, for time off work, to have food, drinks, breathing, my past, my future. Write down 10 things that you're really grateful for. Go deep into the things that you really care about yourself, and even things that you might think are not so important. They really are when you get down to it, but you'd hate to be without. And that once you've got that, pin it up somewhere. Because every day that you feel down, have a look at that list, and I guarantee it'll bring a smile to your face. And that is exactly how you get through this challenge that we're dealing with right now. And so that's our gift to you and your gift to yourself at the same time.
See you tomorrow, guys.